Not it. I wonder what would happen if we all said leave meeting.
Okay, yeah, that's just starting.
Ready? Well, welcome everybody. I can't see you, Aaron, so I don't know whether you're put your camera on or not. Okay, welcome to the Finance Working Party for today, Tuesday, 20th of July. As normal, this is a lot of it will go under delegated, they're only delegated decisions, but otherwise we'll go to full council. So that's the welcome over. It is being recorded as usual. Apologies for absence, please go ahead.
Apologies from Councillor Fox and Councillor Roach.
Okay, lovely, thank you very much. Declarations of interest and requests for dispensations, anyone? Nobody, so.
No, none received.
We had, we had apologies from Liz Smith as well, Colin.
Oh, sorry, yes, also, sorry,
And
Liz
Laura
Smith as well.
Miller-Jones.
I couldn't find that. The only apologies I could find was for next week. But I will actually check so that she's supposed to be still on this meeting because I thought she was coming off finance. I'll check that I have got the agenda constitution correct.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. Aaron, Councillor Lucarini, are you there? Aaron? See a black picture. Okay, well, we'll continue. We are quorum. Oh, yeah, we are.
You are quorum, yes.
I just had to check then. Minutes of the last meeting held on the 19th of January. Should all have.
Do you want those on screen?
Can be. There's a few items for. I'm just going to message Aaron while. Line. Right, pictures, there you go. First of all, I guess you've all read them, so can I propose a first, please? I think Councillor Hannon beat Councillor Davidson by a smidgen. Oh, there he is. Okay. Councillor Creedy back again. So it'll be proposed by Councillor Hannon, seconded by Bruce Davison. All those in favour of the minutes, please show. Lovely, thank you. There's nothing on page 16. Moving down page 17, the top one. I still know that is F21004 B for Bravo. Any further on the bank at Barclays at all?
No, that's in abeyance at the moment.
Okay. Okay, moving down, Colin. Get to Delta of 006.
Yes, I will do that. I haven't done that yet.
Doesn't have to be one of your usual massive graphs, you know what I mean? Whatever that software you use.
Yeah, it's getting a scale that works for the 0.001 changes that are happening.
Yeah, we'll put a maximum of 0.002 or where it is. Okay, that's fine. Moving down to G for Golf.
Yeah, I can comment on that one.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah, we probably just looked at some numbers this afternoon. We distributed within the community or wrote off probably in the region of £4,000 worth of food from our stock.
Wow. Okay.
It was about the stock valuation at the end of March was around 50% of what it was at the previous year end. Obviously, all of it was going out of date. It wasn't just it would have had to been thrown at some point. So hopefully, some use, people benefited from it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe me. I just thought it sounds like a lot of stock to be holding in anyway. But okay, never mind. So I presume that will that come back to meeting find a committee at some point, Colin, to write off officially, or does it, or is that delegated?
No, I mean that we're talking about the disposal of stock that is no longer saleable. So that would just be a delegated action by officers.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. HR Hotel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is a while back now, but I'm pretty sure that happened in the accounts.
I think so. I think that's done a long time. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to page 18, please. Did you ask? I think you did. Yeah.
I did ask that question. I haven't. To be honest, I haven't received a response from that. To be honest, it's. I'll chase that to what happened to it.
Yeah, it'd be just interesting to see if they can confirm it or not, because I know they do get tremendously confused about whether Northwest and Northeast is in Little Ratting or whether it's in Haverhill. Even today, the planning officers still say to me, "Oh no, it's in the Withersfield district." I say, "No, it's not." So it'd be interesting. Okay, that's all on that document. Moving swiftly on. Item 5. Item 4. That was item 5 was what we've just done. Actions arising. Item 6, public forum. Anybody, Colin? No. I'll read your lips. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Moving on quickly, item 7, the RFO report, which you would have all received, I think, yesterday morning, although it did say have a nice weekend on it. Whatever happened to that, I don't know. Right, budget report. Is that you, Colin, going to take us through that?
Yeah, I can do, certainly.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward anyway when I read it.
Sorry, a second, right document.
Not that one.
Why is it doing that? Okay, so is that large enough for people to be able to see?
Yeah, I can see it perfectly.
Okay, so basically, thank you, Martin, for getting these figures ready. We are beginning to see more activity within the different business sections as we are opening back up. So there's a little bit more work involved, but it's good that we're right on top of it and able to produce a quarter end results just a couple of weeks after the end of the quarter. So as usual, the end column is the one that probably gives the best story in terms of where things are going. So we can see that there are some continued underspends that are taking place, reflecting less activity. The exceptions, of course, are where the activities are supposed to generate income. And of course, they have the reverse effect of being financially disadvantageous. So we can see the cafe and bar, the expenditure exceeds income by 10,500 because, of course, there's no contribution from selling anything towards the cost of staffing, etc. And the same goes for the zone cafe and the zone itself. There's a few little ones in the middle there. Sustainable Haverhill, unless we actually get some grant income that may be possible in the future, that will tend to always just be showing an expenditure, but we don't have a budget against it, hence the reason it's showing as it is in this year. Heart of Haverhill, we've not been provided with a budget from them to know how they expected to spend their money. We're purely the banker, and One Haverhill exactly the same.
Can I just ask about the splash pad?
Yep.
budgetary side, obviously the 200 is ours. Is the 50 grand we got budget, is that the stuff that's come from West Suffolk?
No, that's quarter of an annual budget.
Oh, okay, okay, I assumed that you were going to proportion it over like 3 or 4 months. I hadn't realised you were going to do it as a quarter.
No, I mean, we can amend it when we actually get the bill through, so that it doesn't show that we're overspent. It will show that we're spent exactly as we expect it to be.
Okay. But we're not expecting it to be as much as 200,000 now, are we?
We're only expecting 180,000 now, as the tenders came in at less than the maximum that was expected at the time the budget was written.
And does that include the cost of the kiosk?
Well, no, it doesn't, and that's where that may build up a little bit. It doesn't include some of the other incidentals that might come our way.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I was just wondering. So that 200 grand from our side anyway should be worst case, hopefully.
Well, yes, it'll have to be, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I can't see any hands up for them.
I think Councillor Hanlon is.
Pat, sorry, you've got a bit blurry.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Is the kiosk going to be rented by us, or by what John just said? We're not buying it outright, are we?
No, there's no. In terms of rental, we're not expecting to pay the same charges, because all the money coming from that is going to offset the cost of the splash pad. So it's a kind of part of the deal with West Suffolk for us looking after the splash pad and paying all the bills associated with the splash pad, is that the income that comes in from the kiosk, the surplus income, won't be taken as a profit as it would have been by a private company, and indeed is taken by a private company at the moment. All the profit that we make goes into running the splash pad in the first place.
Thank you very much, Chair. Brilliant news.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to next page. Reconciliation.
Yep.
Before you start, kind of just to confirm, I did go down yesterday to check the bank balances for all the accounts and confirm they are all okay.
Thank you for doing that. It is what it is, what you see before you. We were talking about mapping the interest rates. As you see, you need something with a magnifying glass to be able to map these interest rates. The difference between the 95-day notice and the 32-day notice is 0.02%. But it does mean that we're getting slightly more interest off the 500,000 than we are off the 750,000.
Seeing the bank statements yesterday. Yeah, okay. Cup of coffee job or something. Yeah. Did you want to talk?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about the CCLA here at all, Colin, at all?
Well, you asked about the CCLA earlier today.
I was
what did you have in mind?
Well, no, it's only just to confirm. Obviously, it appears to be doing pretty well despite everything else that's going on in the world, from what I can tell, anyway.
Yeah, I think because of the portfolio has been less impacted. I think there's a lot of warehousing, etc., which of course is in high demand at the moment, both because of Brexit and because of COVID. So at the moment, it's actually looking pretty good. It has some exposure to office space, which obviously isn't fantastic, and a small amount of shopping space, but even then they've not done too bad there. So I think the bid offer split has increased now, so that we would pretty well, after a dip because of Brexit and then a dip through COVID, it's pretty well recovered to nearly mean that we could step off with very little capital loss which of course is dwarfed by the dividend payments that we've received over the years. So it far outstrips what we could have done with this money in any other way.
Yeah. Can you remember? Excuse me. Can you remember what the dividend payments were? I think they're quarterly, weren't they?
Martin, do you want to guess?
Roughly, what they roughly.
Roughly speaking,
£4,000.
throughout the time we've been with CCLA, it's in the early 5k a quarter.
5k. Okay. Yeah.
This last quarter, I think it was at 4.6.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's slightly lower than it has been in the past, but not by much.
No, but it's still. What's that? It's about.
It's about 20k a year.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5%, isn't it? Return. Ignoring losses due to market forces. Yeah.
Well, those losses are only crystallised if we actually did.
Oh,
something,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I meant by that. Okay. Any questions on this page at all? No. Okay.
What I would add is that CCLA dividends is the equivalent of about an extra 140 houses.
Oh. Yeah, when we're not getting them on the tax base, anything's better than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So going on to the next section is debtors and creditors, and not surprisingly, at this point, it's all very easy to map because there's been so little activity that almost all of the payments you see are intercompany payments in any case. But with the exception of £300, everything has been collected in, and I don't have any concerns about the £300.
Obviously, we did do one good bit of business in the quarter, which was renting the auditorium out to Suffolk Public Health, which brought in quite a decent bit of income.
Oh, they paid us for it, did they? Okay.
They did indeed.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they insisted we would have done it free gratis, but they were happy to pay, so we did.
Mind you, they used enough heating, didn't they?
Well, yeah.
A couple of times I went in there, it was a bit like a sauna. Anyway. Okay. Next page. Go on.
A similar story, of course, on creditors, just the other side of the coin. So just to say that in terms of Heart Seats, it is no longer active as a company. When we get the final accounts, we will then put that to a formal vote for the council to actually wind it up. I don't know whether, Martin, you've heard anything from Kyle at all. I haven't personally.
I have spoken to him. As the notes say here, it's taken a little bit longer to wind things up than I'd anticipated. And we have spoken, Kyle and I, at the accountants, and he's quite comfortable. If I said I'd expected to get things wrapped up near the end of July, and he's quite comfortable to get the figures from me around about that time. I think there's only a couple of issues to be sorted out now, as I say, which I hope to do in the next week or so. So,
okay.
I should be able to send him all the paperwork that he needs to pull the final accounts together in the next few weeks.
Oh, magic.
Good. So therefore, there was just a short bit just to show Heart Seats.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's really not very much happening at all. Then we go into the community trust. I'll just extend that a little bit. So this goes through the various different sections. Obviously, there's been a relatively low amount of, there's been hardly any income at all. There's rent from the council and a few booking fees that have come in for the community trust. And then we've got the expenditure, which is covered as far as as what we can bring in from the town council in any case. So that's all fine. Obviously, very little by way of lettings at the Leyson Centre because we've not been able to use it. The expenditure has continued. Obviously, on a few points, there's very little expenditure actually going on. Got Haverhill in blue, and then the zone. Now, the zone actually, because it's been closed, whereas the Arts Centre, of course, is open because we had the testing going on. The zone has received funds from the business support grants around COVID. So where you see council grants, etc., you can see this is quite a significant amount of funds have come in to support the cost of running the place. Obviously, there will there'll be some balancing out with the town council. Obviously, there's the staff charging, etc. There's a relatively small amount, but it does mean that we've been able to cover our costs so far. Volunteer centre. What we haven't done, Martin, is put the 10,000 in from the town council.
Right.
So which will come under 1303. So that would balance those figures out.
Yeah. Okay. I can get that done.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor Handon.
So
Yeah, Colin, on the zone bit, wasn't there something with the boiler in that area? And I was just in as far as the zone, or has it been done? Am I thinking the wrong thing? If so, could that money be spent on sort of things like that to help with refurbishment?
Potentially. I mean, at the end of the day, it's there to offset the cost of business, and business costs would have included helping change over the boiler. We have had issues with the hot water boiler down there. It's basically down to the weird system that was installed for the oil, which was pumped up very high and then onto a header tank, and then supposedly running back downhill again to the various heaters. It never worked particularly well, and they did some more work to it to try and improve things, and actually managed to end up with two systems working against each other, which caused that's what caused the boiler to pack up last time, because it simply was starving from oil. But it would be really good to move away from oil altogether in any case. So that may well make a bit of a difference.
Yeah, that's great news, because we could think of heat pumps maybe or something more environmental.
Potentially so, yes. Yeah.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Can I just ask on the zone what you're talking about? I mean, I know, I realise the £1,321 for matrix reactive is things like the boiler and other things that have probably past their sell-by date and just need replacing. But, where do the costs for the new lighting come in? Because that wasn't done that long ago, was it?
Would there be
previous? Yeah.
Would you like me to comment on that, Colin?
Yeah, sure, please do.
The LED lighting at the Arts Centre and at the Zone are showing in the maintenance costs, planned maintenance costs, so 4203 on the Town Hall.
Right, but they're not on the Zone. So was that prior year?
There were some costs. You're quite right. There were some costs in the prior year as well. So it's split between 2021 and 2021-22.
Okay, because just for the Zone, it's shown 0. That was all.
Right, let's have a look.
Well, that was work was done quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think maybe the costs that I've apportioned in the last quarter were actually for the arts centre.
Okay, all right.
And you're right, the zone was probably in 2021.
Might be, yeah, right. But okay, they might have bought the equipment, but maybe the work wasn't. It certainly wasn't completed in the last financial year.
Yeah, but as you say, if everything had already been purchased, then you wouldn't see any more costs.
That's fine. That's fine.
Let's just look a bit on the youth projects and the community kitchen.
Yeah, the youth project is Michelle. It doesn't actually specify, but it's Michelle Brace's Have You project.
And then there's a consolidated report just at the end.
So should on 4777, should the budget show her the grant that she was given from West Suffolk?
That's
4777 is expenditure.
Oh, okay, you termed it expenditure. Okay, I was thinking about the column of. Okay, so is there a? Oh, sorry, income use. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So I just see it's been the line's been highlighted. Sorry. So where's the budget on that then?
Sorry, the budget on.
Well, in that case, on 1777 maybe. I'm surprised they're not the same budget, but anyway.
It's there, 6900.
That's not what she. That is that.
That's the grant that we actually received from West Suffolk.
Suffolk, was it? Okay, I thought it was more money than that. I thought it was about 14,000. Okay. Why is 177 and?
Because 1777 is an income code and 4777 is an expenditure code.
Unusual way of doing it in accounts. Okay.
That would be around about 14,000, Chair, wouldn't it? Add them two together.
Oh no, those are reference numbers. Don't add those up.
On the left-hand side, you'll make that.
No, the 69 and 35, I mean.
35 is expenditure and 69 is income.
Yeah, I just thought it was 14,000 was the grant.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to sort of say. That's 14,000, but yeah, income and
it's just the concept of having a separate expense code for income and expenditure.
Yeah,
I've never done that in my life, but anyway.
So they're not. There are income codes and there are expenditure codes.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but whenever I've done accounts before, income and expenditure all go to the same code, and it's either negative or positive, whichever way it goes in. Okay, doesn't matter. It's just something I've always done. All the money, just straight away doing it. Okay, so anybody else now carrying down? Community kitchen, obviously we spoke about. Down.
Okay, then bank reconciliation, fairly straightforward. And then debtors and creditors, again, pretty straightforward as well, with no debts over 90 days.
I think that's when they overcharged us for electricity or something. Right, great. Lovely. Thank you for that. Right, that was quick. Probably one of the shortest finance meetings ever. Nothing else. No matters to report, as there's no matters to report. Date of next meeting, Tuesday, 12th of October. Seems a long way away. Nobody's got anything else, and otherwise I'll terminate the meeting at 1933.
No, nothing from me.